This story is a work of fiction inspired by love, fate, and hidden truths of the Old West, and any resemblance to real people or events is purely coincidental. In the spring of 1885, when the mountains still whispered secrets and dust ruled the roads, she married a man everyone called poor, quiet, and forgettable, a mountain drifter with rough hands, worn boots, and a life that seemed to hold nothing but struggle. Before the story carries you deeper, let me ask you something gently. As you're listening from wherever you are, do you believe love always looks like wealth and comfort, or can it hide beneath silence, patience, and sacrifice? That question mattered because she had chosen him when no one else would have. Her name was Clara, raised in a town where status mattered more than kindness. When she announced she would marry Eli, the mountain man, laughter followed her through the streets. People warned her she would live in a shack, scrape for food, and regret her choice before winter ended. Eli said little, only asking her once if she was sure. She answered with a nod and a steady heart. On their wedding day, there was no band, no crowd, only open sky and two witnesses. Eli wore his cleanest shirt, still patched at the elbows. After the vows, instead of leading her to a small cabin like everyone expected, he helped her into a modest wagon and headed toward the mountains. Clara noticed the silence, the way his jaw tightened as the road climbed higher, but she trusted him. They traveled for hours, winding through narrow passes and pine forests untouched by towns or gossip. The road grew rough, and Clara wondered if she had misunderstood everything. Just as doubt began to creep in, Eli stopped the wagon before a hidden gate carved into stone and timber, almost invisible against the mountainside. He stepped down, hesitated, then looked at her with eyes full of vulnerability. He told her the truth he had never shared with anyone. Years earlier, his family had been wealthy landowners, but greed and betrayal had nearly destroyed them. After surviving violence and loss, he hid his inheritance, choosing a simple life to protect what remained and to learn who valued him for who he was, not what he owned. The gates opened, revealing a sprawling mansion nestled into the mountain, elegant yet guarded by nature itself. Clara gasped, not at the wealth, but at the weight Eli carried alone for so long. She didn't run toward the house. She ran to him, holding his hands, telling him she would have married him even if the road ended in nothing but dirt and cold. Inside, the mansion was warm, filled with quiet beauty and echoes of a past Eli had buried. Clara explored slowly, understanding this was not a reward but a responsibility. She saw how carefully everything was preserved, how loneliness had shaped every room. She promised him that secrets no longer had to be carried alone. If you're still here with this story, pause for a moment. If trust, patience, and quiet love are speaking to you right now, stay with it. Because what comes next is why true wealth is never measured in gold. Life together wasn't suddenly perfect. Clara had to learn the isolation of the mountains, and Eli had to learn how to let joy exist, without fear of losing it. They argued, stumbled, and grew. Clara brought laughter into halls that had known only silence. Eli learned that strength didn't mean hiding but choosing when and with whom to stand open. When townsfolk eventually discovered the truth, their attitudes changed overnight. Praise replaced mockery. Invitations arrived. But Clara saw how quickly respect followed wealth, and she refused to let it change them. She reminded Eli why he had hidden in the first place, and together they chose generosity over revenge, helping struggling families quietly, without names attached. Years passed, seasons turned, and the mansion became not a symbol of secrecy but sanctuary. Travelers spoke of a mountain home where kindness lived, where a poor man and his wife welcomed strangers without judgment. Eli never stopped wearing patched shirts, and Clara never stopped choosing simplicity because love had taught them what mattered. In the quiet of one evening, as the sun set behind the peaks, Clara told Eli she was grateful he tested her heart before showing her his world. He replied that she was the only treasure he had ever trusted enough to reveal it to. If this story touched you, let it remind you to choose people for who they are, not what they appear to have. Share it with someone who believes in love beyond appearances. And subscribe for more stories that honor quiet strength and unexpected truths. The moral is simple. Real wealth reveals itself only after trust is earned. And the greatest fortunes are built on love, not gold.